they unveil a little bit more, and then they just kind of, because they're stress testing.
I'll wait until it's like fully released, and then I'll probably jump in there.
Yeah, because they're going to try. They said they were going to try really hard to make sure that your progress carries over. But
Well,
it doesn't matter to me.
You're just having fun.
I really am.
Yeah, like with Baldur's Gate, that's a lot of fun. I don't care if my progress carries over. Start me with a fresh thing.
Right.
Whenever that
Ooh,
launches.
hey, Grayley.
2025 or whatever.
Oh, Patch 9's coming out in
I
December.
did see that.
Yeah. And I think that's when they're going to be doing the Paladin and Monk classes.
And Dragonborn?
Potentially, yeah.
There's too many games coming out right now, and I'm broke as frickin' just broke.
So like and subscribe, everybody.
You can't like this, but if you go see this on YouTube, yeah.
Favorite and what?
Follow.
Favorite and follow.
Anyway, I'm done.
Prime subs be free.
They
Prime
are.
subs be free. This song that Inky made me listen to has a line in it that's like, "Don't forget to sub with Prime," and it gets stuck in my head all the time. I have to find my authenticator so I can.
Oh,
log into
Bill,
Twitch.
I think you found yourself a playmate there. Oh, that's the wrong word. Someone to play with. Sorry, Grayley. She said she has Dark Tide as well.
Oh, yeah. No, Grayley made a comment. They're going to do it. I'm also playing with my old boss.
Nice.
So he hit me up, and I...
Those pieces from 2020, they were still off.
The
But-
broadcasters indicated this channel is intended for mature audiences.
It's because we talk about stuff.
Oh, check this out.
I'll pause. I'll tell you in a second. What are we checking out?
Whoa. Yeah.
My
Nice.
6 month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit my 6 month too.
It's good stuff.
I will say
Yep.
one thing, D
Yeah.
Oh.
and Ken.
Okay.
They have like every
Yeah.
once in a while they have like huge bosses come in. So the Beast of Nurgle.
Oh,
Like, oh,
Papa Nurgle.
it's scary. It's like, oh fuck, it swallowed me.
It actually
Like
swallows you, the
it like
character.
it like pulls you, like you can see it like choking back in the throat as your legs are twitching, and you go.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
That's the kind of graphic detail I need in a game.
Especially after the horrifying traumatic incident that we had to cover, given the fact he fell into, what was it, a dead seal on the beach or something?
Yep.
Yes! That was fun to relive.
And as a good
Squelch.
DM, he'll make you relive it again and again.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Drew started sending pictures of his thumb to us.
Yeah.
He has a thumb. It's not a
Yeah.
stump.
Oh, that's good.
We can't call him Stumpy.
It looks like Frankenstein's thumb, but it's there.
I saw somebody who actually had a stump of a thumb, and they blacksmithed themselves a brace and a fully mechanical, like,
I saw that.
polished
That was really
brass. Like, I was like, that's freaking amazing.
cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I still wanted to call him Stumpy.
I had all these cool jokes. I was gonna make him a T-shirt that's like,
Right?
who's got 1.5 thumbs and like shadows? Like,
I was, like, I was
One and a half this
making
guy.
this whole goddamn list of shit I could talk with him, and then no, he had to keep his thumb.
no. Although I think that he's missing part of the inside of his
Yeah.
thumb.
That's why he's gonna do some surgeries. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, if he does surgeries and it doesn't really work that well, we can go with limp jokes.
Yes.
We can go, says, do you have a pill for your thumb?
Yes. He could get like a mechanical like thing added to his thumb, so it's like magnetic. People do that like voluntarily, just have implants so that they've got magnetic fingers.
This is Cyberpunk.
It is.
Anyway, so to recap, for Scott and for our audience, we
Danny was
had-
bored and drifted off during the dinner.
We
Oh, you
had,
saw that part?
We had introduced Natalia
Natalia
Yeah.
Aleska. Mm-hmm.
Natalia Leska and to the market, and she bought it hook, line, and sinker. So we
No, it was real.
se-
We weren't
we secured.
screwing around with her.
We have potentially secured access to the artifact that we need.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, Malcolm had wanted to get rid of that damn letter that zapped them off
Yes.
to like the nether
Red
well,
Tide or
so
whatever it was.
Went in back into Central Park where they met with Brenner, and Brenner was in a state. He
Is
was
fit to be tied, or like a fugue state.
a little bit of both.
Oh, sweet.
Apparently, he's been looking for his daughter, Elga,
Yeah, Elga.
because he made a deal with the Fae called Lorthras, a Winter Court Fae,
Oh, jeez.
because why would we ever have the chance to have Summer Court? And
Just
This
as
is why we
bad.
can't have nice things.
we were gonna ask Lance about Lotharos, because at this point we sort of wrapped up the deal, but at the same time your tutor is a little distracted, so now we're engaged in helping Brenner so that we can also free him up to be able to be your instructor. Because he really
Danny's
can't-
got this.
because he can't really protect you or be your instructor if he's doing that, because it was
Yeah.
part of it. It was part of the old bargain, but the bargain wasn't his, by the way. It was the old High Druid had made a deal, and made a deal in which Brenner's daughter was the prize.
Nope.
Yeah,
Her hand.
her
Or-
hand in
yeah.
marriage. Mhm. And Brenner basically didn't like that, so he tried to
Forestall
Yeah.
the consequences.
forestall the consequences, and that meant he got imprisoned. But the fact that he's not imprisoned anymore means that his daughter is now back on the table.
Free
Which
game.
is when he met that demon who gave the letter, by the way.
Oh, I see.
That letter and that demon indicated that his daughter was still alive and in Night City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's something. That's something.
Yeah,
Danny
sure
would
is.
have totally glazed over all that, so that works.
We also got Brenner's daughter's name.
Yeah,
Ilga.
Elga.
Elga.
Yep.
Ealga.
Yeah. It's just Elga.
And a question for the DM at this point: has our Valkyrie friend hit either Ken or I up for our new duds?
Our gear.
I do believe. Yeah, I mean, she would have.
Okay. So I don't know about you, Ken, but I think at some point, Malcolm and
Well, I actually wrote all this down. I said goals for next time. Malcolm, talk with Lance about Lothros, like you were just saying. Hugh was going to bring the chest that had the bracelet and Brenner back to Danny's place. This is one of the cool things I remember from last week is I was able to make a logical connection between Brenner, the necklace, and the fact that it's now an artifact because, all of this stuff happened hundreds of years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And so since it's an artifact, Natalia might be able to identify it or know something about it. And then the big chain was like, how artifacts have like a chain of like who owned it last kind of thing?
Yeah.
Typically. Like that's what you want, obviously. In a museum, you want to see, he owned it this century, and then this century got to this
she's
person.
pretty much a curator of the curious.
Yeah. So
It's called
that's
proof
one
of
Hugh's-
authenticity.
Thank you.
My brain is like chain of custody, but that's too like shipping and receiving.
That's just the right word. But anyway, so that's one of the things that
Yeah.
Hugh's working on. He's going to have have Natalia try to identify it to see if we could find out who the last owner is, if possible, and then that would be a clue for us.
Yeah, because we still need to introduce her
And then finally,
specifically to
Anubis, so that she can bring the chalice with
right.
her.
So did you just talk about the market? You didn't like give her a ride to the market?
Well, we
borrowed yours and Barnaby's sigil, which our rather Moo friend was a little grumpy about, but since we kind of kept our word of they're just going to peek,
Mhm.
he was not totally upset with us.
And for the next time we go in there, and that's what I wrote down as well. Once we have Natalia bring the chalice with her, we'll have to make sure to get a pass for her and her bodyguards. And then the last thing is what you just said. Hugh and Malcolm need to get their new armor.
And that's what Daddy Dearest was going to help us with, getting the technology for that.
I don't know what else we can give give our boy.
No, he's got his techno hot pants.
The Technicolor Dreamcoat.
And his cat. He's got a stun
Oh,
bracelet.
yeah, beefy.
I mean, what else could we do to soup up this Minotaur?
A cool earring or a cool nose ring.
I mean, get him a smart brace so he could actually just use it. I mean, we could get him a smart brace.
Extra large plus size.
Yeah, extra large plus size smart brace. We could get him a monocle, because nothing's more hilarious to me than a Minotaur with a monocle.
So you know what? I feel like we should probably meet up and actually have this conversation in character, because these are things that
All right. Strategize.
Yeah. Well, so
back at Blazington's place.
yes. Yeah, and I forgot that I actually had everybody all written down too. So it's Tiberius. I thought it was Howard originally, but it's Tiberius Blazington. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's Tiberius, Blazington, and Estelle. Their current IDs. So
Okay, so Danny and Barnaby have been back at the house.
yeah, you guys have been back at the apartment.
Okay.
Yep.
you were just chilling on them, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you probably had a test.
Something like that. So, yeah, the apartment is more or less quiet until everybody gets back. Silva was one of the few people that had remained while this whole thing was going down in the first place. But the apartment is now full to the brim once more as everybody filters back from their incumbent errands. So you can hear the commotion coming from out of your room since you were focused on doing schoolwork while Barnaby was cleaning weapons and just kind of doing idle stuff to keep his concentration on other things.
Barnaby, they're here.
And he's like, I know, I'm out in the front room.
Why didn't you come get me?
I think
You already heard they're here.
Shower, right?
It's the principal of the thing. Danny's gonna come out.
Yeah,
He's,
as you're coming out, of course, you hear the slide of his weapon lock shut as he's finished it up.
As
Right.
Malcolm kind of mutters to Barnaby. They do pay you well, correctly?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I had some reservations for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so Silva is still furiously working on whatever it is that she had started on before you guys left. But doesn't really engage much of anyone. She greets them as they come in, but goes right back to her work. Tiberius is tied up, I believe. He's back in his office. And so most of this is just kind of the main group here who can actually discuss these things. So, yeah. Now the plans have got to come to the forefront, where we can discuss what's going on with Natalia and find out exactly what your next moves are going to be.
So Daniel,
Danny
Which
boy.
I was wondering if you could help us with our Minotaur friend in procuring 2 more passes.
What do you mean?
Well, he does seem to like shiny things, and well, we need to get passes for Natalia Leska.
And
Her
her
bodyguard,
guards.
of course.
Yeah. Or good body
I mean, do you think that everybody who's in there is buying him shiny stuff? We seem to be the only one who buys him shiny stuff. Is this like? There's probably a price list.
I mean,
Have
there's
you
a
guys looked
potential.
online? I mean, seriously.
Online.
What? And he just goes, "What's online?" Me.
Go. I mean, in your village, did they have like a bulletin board?
Again, Barnaby's just pinching his nose listening to this.
The internet is
But it
a
was always
series of
always some
tubes.
nonsense from these Protestant prots about Martin Luther and all that crap.
Okay, so like, imagine if they did that, but on your smart brace instead.
Ugh. Who would
Right,
read
so-
anything about Martin Luther?
So if there were
He was just a monk with
Postings.
ideas and illusions of grandeur.
if there were postings with the pricing, then we could just pay that instead of bribing our way in.
I mean, that's the only way I knew how to get in there, so.
Well, that's what he indicated that he needed.
I know, but do you see? Is he like covered in bling from everybody else?
Maybe he likes us.
I
That's
mean-
what you say.
We do actually have a good relationship with him, Daniel.
Right, but I'm saying, like, do you think every single person in there is buying him stuff?
He just looks at Barnaby.
He's like, I don't know. Maybe he's under no pressure to discuss who he lets in if they do pay him a certain amount. He just kind
I'm
of
just
shrugs.
saying, like, maybe we just give him like 1,000 credits and you get to come in. Like, you know, my dad only has so much fancy tech we could give away.
You know, I think a smart brace actually might be a good idea. Like Hughes, but he's a right jolly fellow. I'd like to be able to get in contact with him.
He's
mean-
outside of the market, right?
He's outside of the market proper. Yeah, he's on the very outskirts of the border of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he could always open the door to chat with us.
He's got one
Just
side
stick his arm out to.
Yeah, it's like
Well, you can text from the inside of the marketplace. You know that. You can't make calls, but text
Oh,
works.
that's right.
yeah. See,
DoorDash from the marketplace. I mean, we could get him a smart brace. That's a inexpensive option. Dad's been kind of riding that money.
As you hear
Well,
your
that
father
covers one.
weep with joy at your sudden empathy.
I just started getting at that. And what we had to pay for our bodyguards too. How many bodyguards?
There's 2 passes they need.
Oh,
one for Natalia and one for the bodyguard.
well,
Maybe we can give him the charging cable for his smart brace. The second we get- Oh come on, that's actually a good idea.
You're gonna,
That's
Like, hey,
like-
here's this
you're
really
gonna-
cool technology.
you're gonna cheapen it all.
because they don't probably do they have electricity inside the market?
Certain areas of the
Solar
market
panels?
they actually do, yeah. The
Um,
Hawker's Market on the
see, I
outer
could,
rim
like,
and the rest of that, no.
magic something. Doesn't he need like a refilling beer mug or something?
Barnaby's just scratching the back of his head. He's like, how about this? We don't know anything about what he needs. maybe I could just go down, knock on that door, and ask a few very pointed questions. Come back with some more information, since we know we're going to need 2 more anyway. Why don't I just go down and ask him what he needs?
I mean, yeah, we could just ask him how much a pass costs.
That's basically my point.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, Daniel, why would for the first time in your life even make sense?
Because
I'm
he eventually
tired.
grows up.
And I don't have the energy for my antics right now.
Wow,
You-
the real
you
life
know what
bridging
it's
into the
like-
game.
You know what it's like to deal with me? I have to deal with me all the time.
Oh, the burden that God has placed upon you.
Where's our friend from the alt? I forgot his name already.
Vix.
Yeah,
He's
where's
probably
Fix?
in the garage.
He's actually in a food coma.
Okay. I was like, we didn't get a pass for Vix, right?
No, he stayed
No. No, he
He
stayed
stayed
here.
home.
Yeah. He was very entranced with that, but no, he's been snacking all effing evening,
He's hitting his
and
annual caloric
just
load.
going over all the stuff on the various vehicles and mechanics and all that other stuff.
Oh.
I mean, because you can get schematics online pretty easy, and he's starting to figure that stuff out. Technology is not something that he's like incapable of sorting out. He had to learn how to go through the various user interfaces, but once he got the knack of it, he was just started going real fast.
A screw and an inclined plane and a wheel, like, they still all work.
Yeah. So, he's having to catch up with in terms of the convenience and the way that user interfaces function, but that's probably his only real obstacle. That and the
Well,
fact that he has to kind of like figure it out because he can't read the language.
Oh, jeez.
Oh right, they had the ... dash.
Yeah, they had a dot dash language that was used and composed into like monograms.
Monogram.
So, he's figuring that part out, but he seems to be incredibly intelligent, actually. Not much of a fighter, but very much incredibly intelligent.
Sometimes the plant of knowledge just needs to be watered.
Barnaby decides he's going to remove himself and go inquire as to what is required to get a pass under normal circumstances if such a condition exists. So he's departed. Meanwhile, what else is everybody going to be doing?
What time is it right now?
It's in the it's like late-ish evening, so I think it's around midnight-ish, something like that. If I recall correctly, even slightly. It's nighttime.
Well, right. Well, it must have been deeper in the night because we were doing stuff with Malcolm earlier, and we just got back from it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's in the middle of winter, and nighttime starts some close, like,
No, that's
right around,
It's like 5:30. and
late
it's already
fall,
dark
rather.
out here,
Yeah.
so you're right.
Mhm.
That's a fair point.
Um,
Good call. Good call.
Malcolm has a few more hours of playtime, basically. But
Yes.
what time it is?
Well, and then there's the other concern for you, Daniel. It's the fact that your teacher is in a bit of a jam.
I mean, I've gotten teachers there worse. Oh, you mean like his personal situation?
His personal situation. It seems
So-
that he is indebted, or at least his daughter is betrothed to a fae called Lothros.
Is it like a Rumpelstiltskin sort of situation, or what?
I mean, that's fair. Oh, look, I know something.
Yeah,
I got that reference.
yeah, right.
I wish I'd figured that line out. But anyway. So, honestly, at this point, I think I need to give Lance a call. So,
Yeah,
if
so
you'll-
what actually do we need to do is figure out how to, like, sever that deal?
Aye, but that's usually with the Fae easier said than done.
It's funny. Dad used to tell me how in his day, everybody just wished they would get captured by the Fae, but they didn't know the Fae were real.
If they wanted to be captured by the Fae, then well, they'd get what they did not want. Let's do this. It's just like fine.
Just say it.
Lance.
Lance. No, it doesn't
Lance.
understand Scottish. You just say it like a
Lance.
Brit. Say it like a
Lance.
Brit.
Lance. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wait, I just need to sound like an English prat. Lance.
yeah.
It's
Lance.
contact number 11 in here.
11. Who's the other 10? Anyway.
I love it.
11.
11. 11.
It's racist.
Yeah.
Lance is probably sleeping. It's like midnight.
Well, I mean, he picks up regardless. I mean, it takes a
cat
couple
out
of
of
rings. Mm-hmm. It takes a couple of rings, and you hear this like, hello.
Hello, Lance. Good evening. I'm sorry to wake you.
He's like, Malcolm, what can I do for you? Why the call so late?
Well, as you can imagine, my life has been infinitely complicated on a level that I'm not very comfortable with.
Yes, I'm aware of that, given the fact that our Central Park tours have been closed out for a while. Your struggle is the same as mine.
Aye. And given the fact that I'm now having to deal with potentially the Winter Court, you might imagine I'm a little bit miffed.
That would perk his ears up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like
Right.
you're certain it's Winter Court?
Do you know of a fae named Walthras?
Let's find out if he does. He's like,
It's my brother.
It's my identical twin brother.
He was more attractive and drinks better.
Oh my gosh.
he's like, I don't know the name terribly well. If it's Winter Court, though, what's the problem? What's the bargain? What's going on?
Yeah, he's just gonna get right into it, huh?
Well, let's put it this way. You remember at the beginning of the start of my troubles?
How could one forget?
Well, I ran about a man who was trapped by the Fae. A man by the name of Brenner. Now, he's a druid. Now, back, well, I think, even before my time, to be perfectly honest. The high druid of his sect made a deal with Lothras and betrothed Brenner's daughter. Now Brenner, being a good father, tried to forego that pact and ensued being trapped by the Fae themselves. And me freeing Brenner, well, the bargain's back on. Now,
What were the
Brenner's,
conditions of his imprisonment, do you know?
Brenner's right there with us. We brought him back. So you
Well,
just, like,
I mean, are you on speaker, though? Or are you running
Yeah.
through your moniker?
It's just like, Q, speak, what's speaker? And
Well-
he's just like dangling the thing right in Q's face.
oh, I guess I'll turn it on speaker mode.
Lance, Lance, you there?
And it's like,
Lance,
yes,
hello,
yes.
hello?
I can hear you.
You're on mute.
Oh my god.
It's like, I can hear you just fine.
The trauma of like 3 texts.
Yep, it still hurts.
And fuck's sakes, Brenner, did I get that?
You have the most part of it, yes.
All right, fantastic. And he's just holding out his arm like this.
Yeah. He's like,
To him.
the conditions of imprisonment weren't necessarily entirely clear to me. They verified that she would remain safe and unharmed as long as I were to be imprisoned, and that whatever sort of original bargain was in place would not be followed through upon. This was so that I could remain in a fugue state of some kind, entrapped in one of these endless fields, only to have myself be utilized for what I imagine to be some kind of strange, mystical, carnal need to experience mortality, I suppose. Lance is quiet for a moment. The Winter Court are actually well known for doing something just such as this. They usually feed upon the experiences in such a way because they don't look at life the same way that some mortal would. As such, they allow themselves to feel the sense of fear and dread and the short-lived sense of the mortal coil. It brings a thrill. It's intense for them. So, you're no longer their plaything, as it turns out. What do you suspect is going now? And he's like, well, from what I understand, a messenger had come by and delivered a notice, a missive, and it moved them to the Bloody Plains where they saw a terrible conflict in place. Again, another silence from Lance.
That was vaguely unpleasant.
The place is called the Bloody Plains.
Yeah, Brenner just nods, doesn't answer verbally. Lance is like, oh
makes sense.
shit. And he's like, that was my reaction as well. That's, generally speaking, only where conflict resolution is supposed to occur. Well, from the experience given over, conflict is concurrent and not resolved. And again, Lance, one last time goes into a pause, and he's, we have to settle this, or there could be some serious dilemmas. But it also, well, you have to understand that any pact given to a Fae, specifically of any Fae of particular power, has consequences of far-reaching element if the pact is not followed. Which might mean that his daughter hasn't been retrieved yet if the conflict is ongoing. And if she hasn't been, then that means that whoever she's in custody of happens to be the one causing the problem, but the source must be rooted out. Which means that Lothros has to be dealt with for the pact to be no longer relevant. And only then will the incumbent bloodshed and dissent stop. The magic forces these things to occur, and if the Bloody Plains is the point of origin which you manage to arrive and witness such conflict, then that means that there are certain cardinal forces moving at play, trying to overtake and supersede others. You've landed yourself in a very bloody political kind of problem.
Well, looks like we have our next priority, Hugh said.
That sounds like fun for you guys to do.
Well, unfortunately,
I don't want to go back to that place. It was scary.
Yeah, Brenner turns over to Danny. He's like, sadly, you're entwined in this as well. Any remnant scent that you may have been left behind as visitors to those plains means that you're a target to finding resolution. And even if you are unaware of what might be the best course of action, or inexperienced, you might be now tracked by certain forces by either side of the Fae in conflict.
Can we just like lead all my stalkers into a room together and let them fight it out?
Well, as far as the groups that are searching for your father and his somewhat seedy past, that will take care of itself once we've gotten the chalice under tow and Anubis is satisfied. That part will be taken care of. The Fae, on the other hand, are not quite so easily negotiated with under these circumstances.
Personally, I would like not to begin with. So,
Can the Fae get... I mean, are they like Malcolm? Can they be killed, or...
Yes, Fae die. It's actually recorded in many places.
Malcolm, do you die? I mean, McDonald's, do you die?
I'm mostly dead.
Never call you
Wait.
that. Do you-
He's
do you
only
burn if
mostly
you go in
dead.
the sun?
If you're all
You're
dead,
wearing
there's
your
only one thing
Electric
you can
Mayhem
do.
shirt, aren't you? Are you wearing Electric Mayhem?
Looks like he is.
It's one of my favorite shirts of all time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, I need to try to find if I can find it again, because there are holes I can't repair. It's
Oh,
now
no.
not my kick around shirt.
It's
Sorry,
been
man.
around for a long time.
It's about 20 years.
I've snuggled you in that shirt. So Danny's gonna go like, McDonald's, you can't go in the sun, right?
No, that would be a ruefully bad idea.
But the moonlight is okay?
Oh my god.
I'm not an expert
He-
on this, Daniel.
Does he know that the moon doesn't do its light? Do you know that the moon doesn't make its own light? Right? Sudden realization. But okay, I'm just when we go to that bloody plains thing, it's not like when we went to the alt, right? Because the alt, no time changed.
But the thing is, when we went to the Bloody Plains, that light didn't affect me for some reason.
Oh, maybe it's like Fey light.
It is the divine light of God with the sun that can destroy my kind.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
That seems like it's a tricky religious situation for you.
It's fairly
Um,
complicated.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about timing when we go to this place. That's
Well,
what I'm
it
trying
was.
to think.
Was it could someone remind me? Was it full daylight when we went last?
It was darkish.
It
I
was.
mean, we were
darkish.
in the market, so if we were in the market, it would have been.
Not,
a safe
Daniel,
time for you to be there.
Let's just put it this way: it's not something I'm willing to chance.
Do we need like an umbrella or something to keep you safe?
I don't know, Daniel.
All right. Brainerd steps in at the moment. He's like, we need to actually find a plan of attack before we start getting into the minutia. First of all,
Oh yeah, 'cause we
First-
don't need to fight the people at the Bloody Plains, right?
it's like we have to deal with Lothros, which is far more complicated, and I have to understand exactly who it is that's in possession of my daughter right now. Because if Lothros hasn't reached him, then I have no idea why.
Well, Hugh actually had an idea about that.
He's holding the little chest.
Part of some of the deals that we are making, Brenner, in your absence, is we have a purveyor of antiques. You could potentially trace the line of ownership of your daughter's necklace.
Possibly. Points
Possibly.
out.
Coincidentally, she's also part of our other interests as well.
You could find the provenance of a necklace. Yeah, I know what to do.
So our first step
Provenance
is...
is the history of owners. You guys do not know that? You met with the. Were you not paying attention?
The next step is
already
what
miss
then? I suppose we just need to make sure that we procure passes as required, go from there, get Natalia's buy-in, get the chalice, and get Anubis satisfied. So that we can take care of the first inhaling problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
that works too, because we need to. He's looking at his brace and is like, Malcolm, our orders are up over on the marketplace.
Well, then perhaps we can have you all kill several birds with one stone, then.
Oh, fantastic. Let's
Lan-
wait for
Lance
Barnaby to get. let's wait
Intercedes
for-
over the comm because he's still on the phone. Nobody hung up on him. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, but he's just sort of like, what's going on with this chalice? Because remember, he is not aware.
The regular
Oh.
Shah? Yeah.
So you're going to be able to get the chalice from a man named Anubis in the marketplace.
Do you have this all written down somewhere? Like I'm getting the Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
So
I've got a lot of pieces written down, yes, but it forms in my head. So
it's a bit of a what's the phrase? A pickle.
he just blows out some breath. He's just like, ugh. Okay, listen. You've clearly got multitude of different problems, and I wasn't even aware of how deep they were until brought into this very strange conference call. I'm going to just let you to it. You contact me when you have need of me, I suppose. I'm going to get back to sleep. But I am very interested at some point in finding out what exactly is going on with this chalice, because I wasn't entirely sure that she even had it, and now apparently she does, and it's going somewhere else. So I want to be the first to know where else, and we'll have to talk about that some other time, when you've had a chance to...
Lance, don't fire McDonald's from his job. He's doing his best.
I don't have any intention of firing him. I do have an intention of going to sleep, however, so good night all. Till
Yeah.
next time.
Good morrow to you, Lance, and good evening.
And, the line finally ends at this point.
Beep, beep, beep.
No.
A few minutes there.
Why does this brace have a landline attached to it?
Yeah. Oil is
AOL.
my blood.
Wow, that's great.
Malcolm
Dane's
has
book.
AOL on his
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
brace.
He's still paying for it after all
He's
these
still
years.
paying for it after all these centuries.
Alright, so, yeah, obviously we have to wait for Barnaby to get back, which he does. It takes roughly another hour or two from the end of that conversation before he returns.
If Vix is really passed out, Danny's gonna draw on his face.
Danny's gonna what?
Draw on his face.
Yeah, no, he's passed out for real.
Yeah, Danny's gonna
Get
draw.
that permanent marker.
Well, anyway, so whenever Barnaby returns, what exactly are you drawing on his face?
Just some angry eyebrows.
I
Alright.
figured it was gonna be penises.
No, Danny's a child.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, that's what would have happened in my town. But anyway,
Danny's cultured.
Oh, so it's ball sacks. Okay.
Just on the chin.
right underneath the eyes.
Yeah.
So when Barnaby returns, he comes back and he's just like looking around to see who's up. Silva has finally crashed after having done some serious level of work. What on earth just happened?
Oh, geez, a Tanuki.
It's on Nookie.
This is a weird Japanese commercial. I remember this. It's for like Sprite or something.
Yeah.
They're known for their bowels.
I do
Yep.
apologize for that one. I just couldn't help myself. All right, Your Majesty.
Neff the Impaler complaining.
That's his new nickname, by the way.
So, he comes back and he's like, well, I've got good news and bad news, depending on how we want to approach this. Bow-legged and paid for passes.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh.
This is-
yeah, it
this-
takes a second
oh.
to hit
This
that.
is not the movie Your Highness, which that part shocked the shit out of me. I couldn't believe it.
What's your highness?
Oh,
That's
a fantastic
There's a
fucking
lot of-
movie. There's a lot of subtle and not so subtle innuendo in that movie. Yeah. God damn it, I love that meme.
that's what that gift comes from.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's a great movie, but it definitely made me go, "Wow, wow!" Like it's like, because I was watching it and my kids were just doing their own thing, and it happened to that Minotaur scene, and they walked in, and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like I freaked the hell out. I was like, "Jesus, I didn't know that was in here." I'm like turning it off.
And your instinct is to pause, which just makes it worse.
freeze frame.
Uh,
Core memory.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Core memory. All right.
Play for secrets.
Yikes.
Yeah, so he's like, I've got good news and bad news. God. But he's like, okay, this is apparently something that he can do on his own. And he was apparently surprised that we waited so long to ask. But kind of like what Danny has already managed to figure out is that he is not under any specific guideline to not accept gifts or anything as a form of payment. However, if he doesn't appreciate you or what you're offering, he can refuse it. More in
I
particular,
still think we should give him stuff.
the method of acquiring a pass by some other means is by word of mouth and referral. You have to actually have someone who can vouch for you at some level within what he referred to as the unseen court, and I don't know what that is.
Unseen Court? That sounds like a cool nightclub.
Would that be something that Malcolm knows is naturally?
Well, if you make a fairly easy occult roll, yeah.
Yeah, that's just gonna be.
I mean, I feel like you would also know this. But
Well, yeah, you can do the same thing. You can roll an occult and see who knows it.
I will.
Do it!
You just said the D10. One of these days he's gonna.
Well, it's not just a D10, it's also added to your intelligence, I believe. Whatever the actual
Okay.
primary stat is.
All right, so it's
You just don't
11.
get any ranks.
It's 11.
11.
11.
Danny's not even gonna try it because he has no clue.
Yeah, so he will
Even though
definitely...
even though the dice might say he knows, he has no reason to.
Yeah.
Think about
He's not been invested nearly long enough for it. Yep.
Yeah.
No, Hugh, you do know, and the unseen court is the overarching term for those who exist as part of the supernatural community, and can refer to anyone who is supernatural in a sense, but also means that it has specific political inclinations. It could be nobility or royalty. The Unseen Court is a vast and powerful group of nations that are of the supernatural sort.
So like a shadow government.
No.
But don't ask me, I don't exactly get along with my kind.
Wait, how many other vampires are there? It's like
A
you
lot.
and Dracula. No, what?
Quite a few. Couple thousand
In the world?
in Night City.
Oh god. You're muted.
We're blown his mind.
Am I?
Next, you're gonna tell me werewolves are real. Oh.
Yes, they are. And they're a nasty sort.
So, as it is, it looks like we have a bribery tab with the front gatesman, because he has a tendency to like us quite a bit for some reason. He didn't explain why, he just says that he has a feeling.
I still think we should get him somewhere to race.
I would say that's probably the easiest route. We can probably just fetch him some items, because you're right, he's definitely much more decorated than what he started to look like. And I'm wondering if it was been us the whole time that's been feeding him this stuff. I don't really know. What I do know is that apparently the standard process can take some time, and it requires a certain level of credibility, which is what he can base it off of. But again, I'm guessing at this point he's got some sort of mental magic juju that lets him know who's to let in and who's not to. And he basically operates under those constraints, whatever those might be. But clearly the transaction allows him to do it, so let's use what we have.
I'm always happy to buy credibility.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're not overpaying.
We just have to make sure we can find a smart brace that'll fit his burly arms.
That shouldn't be terribly hard, since Senator Blazington over here has apparently an endless wallet.
You also need to keep in mind he needs a second item for a second badge.
We're gonna need two
Well, he
things.
seems to be bored. I mean, I think that's why he's
Most sentries get
liking
bored.
what you guys are giving him. You know, the cat and stuff, because he's probably bored out of his mind.
Yeah, sentry duty sucks.
We get him like a salt lick or something.
Without offending his likely sensibilities, I would imagine, Danny.
Well, smart base is one way to do it. What else would entertain a sentry?
Well, actually, we need to make sure that whatever it is that's there, now that we're kind of on that idea, anything that can help him keep his mind fresh without distracting him from his primary goal, even though it's a single door, you don't want to be out of your head.
Yeah, we don't want to let anybody in there. I mean, once we get in, that's as low as his standard should go.
So, I suspect that we could probably come up with another doodad or something like the Holagachi or anything else like that for his break time. I don't really know, but we can probably fathom up something, right? Like, he looks at Danny, he's just basically like, hell, we can even give him weapons if he's so inclined.
We already gave him the
An
mech
online
suit thing.
subscription, and he says books. We could give him books.
Actually, pair those two things together, give him a smart brace with a massive digital library.
Oh, subscription to Hulu, HBO Max Plus, Netflix, whatever the
Yeah, books.
Prime Max.
Books, not TV. We don't. Again,
Prime Max Triple Plus.
we don't want his distractions.
And then Malcolm is just confused, and he goes, "Wait. You can put books in this."
It's like,
Yeah, how do
Yes.
you think I've been doing school?
if you really wanted to, you could read the entire Library of Congress from that small device.
You know, when I go in my room and I'm doing schoolwork, I'm not reading Dead Tree paper books.
Is
right?
your-
I think we have a plan then. You know, because the Barnaby sisters are like, okay, we're going to talk shop here. Obviously, we need to get the smart brace and we need to get the library access, okay?
Scott, is that why you trained in yoga for 7 years?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Wait,
I
are we
don't get
talking
that,
about
though.
his degree again?
He was just hunched over. Really.
Oh, right.
Oh my god.
And the joke hits. And I'm
Use
like,
my strong hand.
oh my god. And that meme comes flashing to mind immediately.
Well,
All right, so we know what we're going to do. It's going to be a two-part deal. Obviously, it should be able to cover the two passes necessary for Natalia Aleska and her bodyguard. Cool beans. As far as the rest of the evening is concerned, is there anything else of severe pertinence that we need to be aware of?
Okay, smart brace ordered.
Yep.
Well,
I
we need
just-
to contact Natalia Leska, let her know that we have her passes.
yeah,
we'll
he
have
will
her
be taking care of
passes.
that.
And he
And for her to meet
also,
up.
I'd inquire about the necklace, potentially.
Yeah, that's why he was gonna contact her. It's like, hey, bring
You guys
bring the
talk to
chalice
her about.
or
Yeah.
bring the Shah and meet us at the marketplace. And I also have another item that I'd like you to take a look at, kind of thing.
And you're feeding into her highly lust-driven type ambition, so it'll be hard to refuse, especially given the authenticity of the items so far revealed.
We also need to
Uh,
order the books, and
It's
he
like-
looks to Danny.
He goes, fantastic.
Yeah.
And he pulls out his flask. I'm empty. And he just walks off to Danny's room.
Mm-hmm.
Because
What?
he put the blood packs in Danny's room.
Oh. Seriously. I should open up my character sheet. This is a testament to this game. I haven't looked at my character sheet once in the shower. But I need to deduct the cost of
Oh God.
deduct the cost of the
Oh my god,
smart
dude.
brace. I'm just gonna slip the
Hilarious.
smart brace off of Vix's hand, and he won't even notice it's gone.
Nope, he's in the middle of a snore fist, so
I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that.
he
What
wouldn't
the
have
heck? I
noticed
open up Excel. It's like we've got new array functions. When does Excel get new functions?
Apparently now.
Apparently, like I've never used an array in my life.
Linked lists. How about that?
Arrays are fun. I just wish there was easier ways to handle them when it came to certain bits. Alrighty then.
I'm
So
all about the VLOOKUP. Oh wait, how much did? Oh dang!
Does
I
this
must
have
have
for
spent
variable
enough.
lookup?
V vertical.
Oh, vertical. Variable works though.
Well, there's also H lookup.
Oh, horizontal.
How many braces did I buy?
You bought one for Hugh and one for Vix.
also
And one for Malcolm.
also for Silva.
And myself and Silva.
No,
I'm
yours
trying
was
to figure out
working.
how much they cost.
Danny's was working.
Yeah, Denny's was working,
Well-
so
We'll say they cost 600 each.
Only 600 credits? Wow. Inflation is doing good in the future.
Well, I had 10,000 and now I have 6,900, so I think I must have spent 3,000 credits to buy a bunch of smart braces.
Oh.
roughly speaking, yes. Well, and the technology of a smart brace is actually relatively cheap for reasons. So, all right, I very briefly
I'll
have to
deduct
use.
another 100 for Hulu,
Commercials.
Amazon Prime Plus.
Yeah, I'll be right
That's
back.
one
I
of
have
those
to.
ads.
Yeah, I have to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, folks.
I sent Ken the Minotaur scene.
I saw it.
You didn't
Pretty
like
explicit.
break your face though.
It's because I kind of just based on what you guys were saying, I knew what to expect. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit more graphic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jetsons! I love it. That's like Jetsons is the above Danny's level in the Night City topography.
Oh yeah.
They're zooming around like up at the top there with like totally clean air, sunny skies.
So I got my my self review for the yearly reviews.
Oh yeah.
I've never, not never, but I haven't written these in a long time because last year it was more like an Excel sheet. Now we're using like a more official thing. I think I did okay on it. I try to be really honest with myself. Like I'm not just giving myself 5s the whole time.
My ours are coming up next month, and my boss is like, open up your goals from, last time we did goal setting and see like where you are and all that stuff. And I was like, I hit the goals back in April. She's like, oh, huh, I should have set better goals for you. It's like, well, yeah, my boss went on leave for 3 months, so I just approved everything for myself. I was like, let's write a policy. Who needs to approve it? I will approve it. Yay.
How good did you do? I did great.
I
Awesome.
did fantastic.
I am amazing.
I exceeds expectations.
I've been logging in lots of hours playing
I
Subnautica.
actually didn't put. I put less 5s than anything else for myself eval. So
Well, I'll give you a 6. So
a 6. Excellent.
exceeds expectations.
Well, moving on. So,
Down.
yeah, things will kind of get put together. You'll be able to put all the items into place. You can coordinate the next meetup with Natalia to get escorted with the chalice and the rest of it, given the circumstances. And yeah,
How long does it take to get to the market from Danny's place?
I do believe that the marketplace was something close to a half an hour by jumper.
Okay. Almost like we have this like annoying thing where Barnaby comes back, but he came back and then Danny ordered the smart brace, and then somebody has to run it back over to get the passes and then come back.
Well, it's going to be a meetup with Natalia, her bodyguard, and everybody going
Okay.
converging to that location so that you guys can.
Oh,
Because-
perfect.
Yeah. Which
Because
will happen
he
the
should, like,
evening after.
eyes on her. Yeah. He should give the passes to her, you know.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm is going to have to get some sleepy time. Well, actually,
Right.
not sleepy time, but, you know.
Well,
Staring at the inside of his coffin time.
sleep blood sucky time.
Right?
Okay. So,
You-
yes.
The
You guys.
FDA just approved no-kill meat. I think Malcolm could find a good solution.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Just
So,
got
like-
approved.
Like, factory grown kind of stuff?
Yep.
I'd eat it.
I would too.
Lab grown meat created from animal cells, but not from an animal.
Mm-hmm. It has no nutrient value because you can't taste the soul.
I'm fine. I don't mind eating soulless meat. The
Which he said.
Leaving that one alone.
Okay, so what we have got going on is that everybody beds down for the evening. Now, who will be going out to the marketplace to meet Natalia for sure? Malcolm will be going. Barnaby will likely be going, depending. I don't know if Danny, you're going to be showing up too. I'm certain of that. Tiberius will be going. I guess it's just like,
Obviously.
yeah. So
'Cause
Hugh.
Hugh and Malcolm have to go because of we're wanting to get our armor anyway.
Yep. So Hugh and Malcolm,
Or Hugh.
Tiberius, Danny, and Barnaby. That sounds to be like the crew that's going.
And Brenner's just staying behind.
Yes, he's
With
gonna be,
Vix
he's gonna be working
two.
with Silva on some
and
things.
Silva.
hmm
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Silva's like hell bent on something. It's not gone beneath notice that Silva has been just head first into something. And lots
As they're-
lots of data and digital research going on.
As they're driving out, Danny's gonna, approach his dad about the idea of like, I don't really like having all these people in my space at home. Do we have, like, does your work have like an office that's not being used, or
We have
like, a
other
garage
areas.
or something that we could do? Because Vix needs some tool time, I think, and it'd be cool to just have a planning session, and it would be good to get these people away from our house.
We can probably clear some of these people out using some other kind of condo purchase or something similar. An acquisition of that sort will actually take some time. Hello. What this? Ooh. Bigoted. Thanks for the follow.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So he's like, we can probably manage something like that, but the acquisition is going to take some time, so you'll have to put up with it for now. But I'm in agreement with you. We should probably find our own space to ourselves. But for now, keeping everyone together, it's what it is. And besides,
I just mean because if we're successful, then people will stop thinking about you being suspicious, and if we keep all going back as a group back to the house.
agreed. And we're going to have to manage that for certain. And besides, I want you to come along for this anyway. I know you've already been to the marketplace, but business deals and handoffs are part and parcel to this. It's going to be part of what you'll have to be taken care of in a much shorter fashion. Hey! Well, welcome in, Brogan's friend.
Welcome.
And hopefully
Welcome,
this time we
welcome.
go to the marketplace we won't get sucked off somewhere.
The jumper trip takes roughly half an hour. You are coordinated with Natalia. And as it turns out, you're all landing at this point, getting everything covered, and you have that same entrance there. Of course, you. Okay, so amongst the group here, because I can never quite remember, who actually has Danger Sense available to them?
Ooh,
I do.
as a advantage, right?
Yeah.
That's I think just you.
Okay. Happy Hugh with the paranoia.
Well, I just got a good sense of it.
It's what saves him. Honestly.
Well, you guys are landing down. What's the rank of your Danger Sense, too, by the way?
Just one.
Just one? Okay. We all land where we're supposed to be. And Natalia is actually landing simultaneously, not too far out and in sight. You have the busy city street, the massive condensed number of people that are moving through those same streets, lots of loud noise and people doing their bargaining and negotiating of price, people selling all kinds of goods. Most of them appear to be kind of fake or fraudulent. It's no different than the medieval times, just more advanced and a lot faster and more convenient. But you've got a lot of these things, and there's like the smell of food and refuse kind of commingling together, which makes that sort of god-awful, scent of city life in all of its glamorous, all of its glamour. When you step out of the vehicle, Hugh, there is definitely kind of a threat of something being off. So if you want to make an awareness check, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, if I feel it, I'm gonna do it. So that's what Danger Sense is all about. My awareness is 11, but because I'm distractible, it's -2.
I'm favoriting that one.
Oh, Boondock Saints 2.
18.
18, nice. Yeah, something smells off. The sliding gullwing door of the jumper that's used is now magged shut. Natalia's making her approach, her bodyguard not too far behind. They are in their body armor as they were before, which Danny didn't have the chance to actually see last time. So what you're looking at is a very supple, close-fitting power armor on Natalia, which comes up as a deep dark red. And
Nice.
yeah, and full visor and face mask covering. Same thing with the bodyguard, who comes in a black. And then, they're not glossy, it's matte black and matte red. But it's clear that these people are used to certain kinds of things just kind of going bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
the art world, right?
yes, but more than that, they also have a somewhat large case in hand that appears to be bulletproof, possibly ballistic resistant, or ballistic resistant would be accurate. A form, so basically resistance against concussive explosions. It is also directly cable sealed to the bodyguard's arm, which is going to be harder to remove if somebody actually manages to kill him anyway. There's a good chance that there could be other booby traps and other things laid into it, but it's a secure package, and they have it with them, and they stop in front of everyone. Tiberius leading the pack on this one, with you just behind him at his left. And he nods his head towards Natalia. He nods his head.
What is my, when I had the bad feeling.
Yeah, you're basically glancing around looking for stuff. Make a human perception check, actually.
No,
But
that's a bad one.
so, yeah, Natalia is greeting everyone. She's like, Tiberius, good to see you. It looks like everyone's here. Although you seem to have a lot more individuals than necessary, but then again, we also have our own precautions. Do you have the passes? He just nods his head. We do. And he gestures towards Malcolm, which you'll have a case with the passes in them.
Oh, because we've gotten it before.
Yeah. You
Did
would
he
have.
like his smart brace and books? I
Yes.
I missed.
Yeah.
Can we flashback? I want to hear his response. Bert, you can't just skip over Bert.
I'm not skipping over Bert. Bert will be there. Don't you worry.
Well, no,
Reading
but,
a book.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
during
go.
during the day,
Like little
Barnaby
monocle
Barnaby during the day took care of the rest of the pass gathering, as it were.
Somebody else open the passes.
There's 10.
Yep.
Uh,
She accepts them,
Minus-
opens it up, finds the medallions intact, closes it, and she nods her head, and starts to walk towards the alley mouth. And you guys are moving in that same direction. The bodyguard then, as you guys get onto the street,
One thing.
yes.
When you're in the marketplace, no magic, no violence.
Yes, I do believe you mentioned that the first time.
It's gonna be a Johnny Marconi situation. That's out of character.
So they go walking along with the passes in hand, and you guys are moving into the alleyway, and before it turns left, your human perception roll was what?
it was 13.
13? You pinpoint certain individuals that don't look right. You don't know why they don't look right, they just don't look right, and your danger sense starts to kind of go a little higher, so you can make a combat sense check here.
And what he'd be doing during this con, he'd be going whoa, 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 like doing this kind of like warning motion to the group to like slow down.
Is there any reason that the rest of us would make an awareness check, or are we kind of just?
Well, that's why I'm doing the whoa, 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 whoa. I haven't said anything,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
let's see here.
Well, every time he goes whoa whoa whoa, Malcolm does an awareness check.
Yeah.
So 6 of them in a row.
Yeah, any type of like any type of indication that there could be trouble, anybody can roll an awareness or combat sense.
All right.
12.
12 it is.
I totally forgot how to do rolling again.
Oh wow.
Uh, 22 awareness for Danny, and then 5 on top of that if there's magic involved.
Nice, nice, nice. Wow. Danny's awareness is ridiculous. He's so freaking.
He's like got the awareness of a teenager.
It's the it's my 2 highest stats, so
He's always got that game sense rolling because he's got to keep his FPS game up.
that's exactly it.
Good reflexes.
Yeah.
I also end up having like a really high tracking, like it just because it uses the
That
same
doesn't-
skills.
I keep looking at the skills and how we have them formulated, and every single time I look at it, I'm like, wow, it's so cool how you can have a really low empathy but a really high human perception because the things that go together with the synergy bonus compensate and make it still work. So
Yeah.
you can be a complete sociopath and still have a really good human perception, which is realistic.
Yeah.
So you're looking around. Obviously, anybody who got above like a 16 at this, well, actually 17. Anybody who got above a 17 at this point will notice there are serious dilemmas going on. And of course, you already pinpointed a couple of people anyway, just with your human perception, because they're behaving differently. When you stop at this point, there is a rustling noise, and you see people rushing from the nearby area out of the alleyway away from you. Okay.
They're pushing the area away from us.
Yes, there are people clearing stalls and moving out of the way. There's a lot of what seems to be happening. There are people that are approaching, and they're moving with purpose. Problem: there are a large number of these people moving in your direction. So you're looking at maybe 11, 12 individuals moving with weapons. Some of them seem to be cybernetically enhanced. And there's one last person whom you have not seen in quite a while, Hugh, who emerges from somewhere out of sight, covered in a silhouette. He's got a wide-brimmed hat, long coat, and he's got this demeanor of rigid authority that comes right in there with his sort of sharp-featured face and you recognize
Oh,
him
the
rather.
Templars.
The clerics.
Or, yeah. But I was right. I mean, it was the guy who originally met
Yes.
with me.
Oh, that hired Max.
Bill, quick on these freaking gifts, man.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, he's just when he.
I appreciate that.
So he approaches sort of behind the new lines of these individuals that are coming close. Of course, the bodyguard has moved in front of Natalia with a weapon ready. Barnaby's done the same thing, putting himself between Tiberius and Danny. Of course, weapon out. And they are kind of closing in at this half circle on the city street, which is now starting to clear rather rapidly. And Alan gives a bit of a smirk.
Alan, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Man.
And Hugh, ever the optimist.
You
is like,
man!
Alan, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. He reaches out to. Are they close enough to be in contact or no?
Nope. You'd have to work
Okay.
by about 30 feet to go handshake him
Oh,
because
so he
he's.
wouldn't do that.
Yep.
So he's gonna be yelling like,
He's like,
"What can I do you for?"
I have to say I'm somewhat disappointed in the type of company you have a tendency to keep. Dude. Tom Hanks is such a fucking cool dude. Oh my god. Comes straight out of Steven Seagal's Glimmer Man. Anyway. No, he's just sort of like, he makes that comment, it's like, I have a few things that I need to be taken care of. And a matter of fact, it just so happens that everything's been offered up on a silver platter. Quite thankfully to you. Which is why I don't necessarily wish to have any particular quarrel with you. Now, that one right there, indicating Malcolm somehow without actually making any hand gestures, the abomination standing present behind your lines, well, that one there, who seems to be saturated in all sorts of deviant energies of various nature,
At
need
that
to be
point,
corrected.
Malcolm moves in front of Danny.
It's like a strange thing to see. I have to actually admit I haven't watched anyone of your particular ilk actually take anything protective of those of us still wound in the mortal coil.
I could say I have
looks
a bit of
weird.
an issue with those who had hurt a child.
Can I,
It's not necessarily a matter of trying to cause injury to the child, but a form of re-education. Anyway, but Hugh, you were saying?
Me, the person, I'm not good at speaking, so I'm going to try conveying what I'm going to want to say. And I could hopefully make it sound good. But I would like to try to persuade Alan to let us pass. Now, my basic premise on this thought here, the line of thinking from Hugh's perspective, is that Alan just said that these two people, Malcolm and Danny, are problems that need to be dealt with, right?
Yep.
Just basically said that. And so what I would like to try doing to persuade Alan is like, Alan, I'm a reasonable person. You're a reasonable person, right? I am actually. I was just heading to my destination to deal with these two and myself.
You're basically gonna like fib.
No, I'm not fibbing. We're dealing with the problem by making it so that Alan, forgets about us. I'm being honest.
You are being honest, I suppose you are, yeah.
And Malcolm's true faith is active. He's insulted by this.
So,
just kinda
Malcolm,
he
this is
kisses
this is probably the most intriguing thing I've ever seen in a game. Your truth faith is activated, and you sense a similar resonance with Alan.
So like he kisses the cross in front of Alan. He kisses the cross and says,
Yep.
"That's between you and me and God at this point."
And he's sort of like, perhaps between you and God specifically.
You first.
He actually gets a really
And we just
shark-like
pull out
predatory
his
grin.
arm and just start like backing he and Barnaby like out of the line of fire.
Well, you start trying to move. He's just sort of like, I wouldn't suggest trying to hide any of your people right now, young man. I don't know
So
who
did
these
he
two
just
individuals.
My attempts to talk with him.
Mainly because Danny started moving people while you were having a conversation. Yes.
Oh, so yeah, I guess he was like,
Oh,
hold
yeah,
on.
I could have waited. Yeah.
Like Hugh at this point is still in like we're still in talking mode. No one's pulled their guns out. Yes, I know my friends behind me are not in a good place, but I have I could use the skill trying to persuasion to see if I can even touch.
I hate it whenever it does that. God damn it.
The music.
Well, it like killed the playlist I had and wrote over it with the one that I was just trying to add music, not overwrite.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, you're basically trying to stop the incumbent conflict. The problem is that he's like, Mr. Man, I do believe we've had this rodeo before, and I have no interest in trying to repeat it. So unless
Well,
you
no, hold
actually...
on. Last time we didn't have we had a disagreement before. I actually have a solution this time.
Well, at this time, unless you put a bullet in that thing's head, I have absolutely no intention of agreement.
Fair enough. Can my associates not associated with either of these two stand aside? He's referring to Natalia and her bodyguard.
And he's like,
Just like he's not
I
allowed
have...
to bring other people into this for no reason.
Yeah, well, and in this case, he just basically stands a little bit aside. He's like, I don't have any idea who these two people are, but if they get in my way, they will have to meet the same fate of anyone who gets in my way, and God will sort them out. Now, do what you were paid to do. And just basically not talking to anybody else in particular, these other individuals start to close in rapidly.
And at that point, Malcolm's going to act.
Yep.
Are we going combat?
Yep.
Check. I always click the wrong thing to look.
Are we all doing combat sense awareness just to see who
Yes.
gets act first now? Okay.
22.
Nice.
16.
Nice. There we go.
Wait, how did you get? Oh, okay. I see what you did. I'm at 14.
Right? I looked at the same thing. I was like, how did I get a 16?
All right.
Okay.
Ken, what was yours?
14.
All right.
What is the ground?
It's sidewalk, and there are a lot of obstructions. There are a lot of obstructions because of the various, like open air market stalls, etc.
No, like, I totally missed this. Are we inside?
You guys are at the mouth of the alleyway, and you were,
Taken one more left, we would have gotten to Bert.
yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I just want to double check. So I said Danny's texting Bert.
Bert, help! SOS.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Malcolm, you are definitely ahead on the list here, good sir.
That works in the role-playing sense too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to use his dancing spirits, so he's going to activate it.
Yep.
And he rolled a 20 stealth, and that's not, he's being seen, but he's using the kilt to like do that, you know, that you remember 47 Ronin,
Yeah.
like the Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So he's
Yeah.
using the kilt to obscure his movements
Yep.
or confuse his
Oh
movements.
my god.
So he has a 20 stealth on that.
Yep.
And then he is going to close distance and then use his, because he has 2 uses of the kilt.
Yeah.
And since it's active, he'll use it to grab one of the attackers and bodily throw them into the other attackers.
Right.
And then he'll close distance and use his melee.
You gonna beat him up with his friends?
Yes, I'm going to beat him up
This
with
is
his
like
friends.
the wielding barbarian that picks up a paladin and just starts.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. So they'll have to do a body essence check against a 9. Or whoever he
fun.
grabs.
Alright. So let's see here. Was there a threshold marked?
9.
Threshold, not target.
No. It's
No?
just
Okay, so
opposed
single
body
successful.
essence check to restrain a target.
Right.
But he's not restraining. He's using restrain and then throw.
Right. Well, in this case, if he was to be if you tried to grapple him for longer than this particular round, he would have broken free. But you're throwing him, which is different. So in this case, you just need to make a melee standard because you're just hurling him into another dude. The kilt is basically you. So.
Okay, so I'll use melee and then he'll have 1 attack.
Yep.
Okay, left. Okay, thank you.
We can. Oh, they do show up on stream. Oh,
Yeah.
They also show up on stream with
Oh,
you.
it does.
Oh my gosh.
I've been having fun with
I
that.
feel like you're an experience with that.
We're gonna use some luck
So
Yeah.
with that luck,
Yeah.
to re-roll that crap, or add like 10. So he'll just
Yeah.
do
that's a little bit better.
so 20.
You're gonna explode.
Yeah. So you got 6 total. What was the base?
What do you mean base?
Your melee base, because you got 1 and then 5.
Melee base is 14.
14? Okay, so you got 20. That's a good throw. Yeah, so you grapple the guy who ends up making sort of hurried panic noises. He's of moderate height and build. Yeah, just kind of like that, just because surprised because Fabric is attacking him.
Because Malcolm was just standing in one location, and it just seems like he was encased in the kilt, just like the kilt was like the fabric was dancing towards
Yep.
his opponent.
Well, either way, you throw him into a secondary person, and they actually don't manage to dodge, so it causes them to both kind of collapse onto the street. You have that second attack, which is what?
Just that he's going to close distance, and he's activating his warrior instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can't. We'll have to do that next round. So he'll just do a fencing attack versus the closest target at that point.
Okay. Ooh.
Ooh, piece of
Yep.
candy.
16 plus. Okay, yep, okay. So it's a base 16, and then we add 2 to involving his weapon. 20.
Well,
It's a little bit better.
you finally have matched your meat, as your strike does not immediately cleave your opponent into tiny little giblets. Your opponent approaches, and when you actually close in that distance, it seems that he is prepared for you. A blade pops from out of his right arm and catches yours, giving a sharp deflection off to the side, which actually causes sparks, and have that space between you as a testing ground, trying to feel out what's going to happen next with the next strike here. So yeah, I mean, very fast double action here at this point, where Malcolm definitely is keeping the forward right flank from Danny and Tiberius covered. Barnaby follows up next. He always seems to kind of have this going on. I'm not sure exactly why.
Danny +2 to his.
Yeah, he ends up letting off 3 shots. You hear the bark of that gun. Just crack, 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 as there's like flashes of light. The shots that he makes are very much, they hit true, but you can hear the clink of something thick and metallic, and it doesn't seem that they penetrate very well. But he's still kind of moving backward, urging Danny and Tiberius to go into the alleyway to kind of narrow the options of angle of fire, etc. So he's kind of motioning on that back end. When he's done with that, we have to go with... so the enemy is up next. Alright, so Malcolm, being the fact that you're the one that's most hardcore engaged, you see him come moving in. He does several shifting movements trying to get close, and does a candid strike towards the midriff, kind of coming in for a swing, trying to go on your outside from your right.
Okay, so we'll do a dodge.
Yep.
16.
Oh, he actually manages to snag it. Did you have any armor?
That's why we were going to go get some armor. No.
Okay. Any natural armor then? Like you're not physically resistant to anything, are you?
No.
Okay, no problem. You do take 11 damage though, because the cut hits into the ribs and there's a but he doesn't suffer any pain penalties. So he's basically what a D&D character would look like in Cyberpunk right now, where you can just take all the damage and keep on going regardless.
Is it withering damage or regular?
It's regular. It is not withering damage. So you don't feel pain, but you sense the damage nonetheless. Or as Schwarzenegger would say, the data could be called pain. Anyway. Alright. So they do end up drawing weapons. Natalia and her bodyguard manage to go kind of take cover out on the outskirts of what's going on here. More or less playing to some effect, possibly that they're non-combatants in this little skirmish. There are several weapons that come free. What's interesting to you is that they are not using firearms. None of them are.
Who's you that you're referring to here?
You.
Hugh?
Yeah.
You?
Our party notices the...
Yeah.
Who's not using firearms?
Pretty much everybody notices the fact that they're not using firearms. But Hugh is kind of on the outside flank left. And like I said, they're closing in quickly. One has sort of a bludgeoning type of weapon, probably like a club, something like that, maybe even a stun rod, you're not really sure. But they give you a swing, and a pretty hard one at that, which you need to either dodge or deflect.
It's to dodge or deflect.
We're talking about Natalia or people
Hugh.
attacking me now?
Hugh is being attacked with a rod, club, or something of that type.
Oh, okay. For some reason, okay.
I
We're
kept
playing
hearing
the
you.
who's on third?
Yeah.
What's on base? Okay. Yeah. Dodge roll.
Trying to avoid the attack. Go for it.
Yep. There it is.
Not too bad.
Nice.
But they end up clipping your shoulder with it. You're trying to juke out of the way and you get snagged right there on the shoulder. It's not a stun rod, but you do feel that rush of impact. Are you wearing any armor? I don't remember if you were or not. Even sleekwear, hopefully.
Where's the armor?
It's on the front page.
Nope, I got nothing.
Oh god. Smackaroonied.
I'm just wearing my
Yeah.
trench coat and stuff.
Yep. So you get walloped on your left shoulder as the attack comes in. It's 8 damage.
I'm dead. No, I'm just kidding.
No way I was going to believe that. I was like, the hell you say? Dislocated a shoulder and his heart stopped. Yeah.
What is this Disco Elysium? Kid yelled at you and hurt your feelings. You're dead.
Yeah, that actually happened to you, didn't it?
That did happen to me. That Kuno guy made me sad I died. Kid was an ass.
It's Danny's turn next, right? After the. I mean, I
Well, the
dodged
enemy
out
is
of the way.
attacking everyone, so I have to get through everybody and how they muster it through, depending on how they squeeze in.
Okay.
So you took 8 damage. You weren't able to get out of the way there, and you're kind of locked into this melee with this guy. There are others that are going to try and come in. There is one who attempts to throw something in the general direction of Danny, Tiberius, and Barnaby, who are still trying to move backward into the alleyway.
Alright.
Wow. Tiberius is the one who steps forward at this point. When
He's
the
mad.
object, yeah, he's mad. But he ends up stepping aside where Barnaby's at, and all you hear Tiberius say, "This is going to be interesting because you've never seen your dad in this kind of situation before." But the object comes flying in. You see your dad just catch it out of the air and hurl it back, like just
This person win, I knew it.
But yeah, he hurls it back. You can hear an alarm from everybody that's in that vicinity from where it goes. There's a huge crack and a bright light, and you can see that some of the individuals that are caught within the radius of this starts just kind of bellowing out. Of course, your ears are ringing. You're like, oh god, like that would have had you on your knees and blinded. Not to mention you would have been deafened and couldn't have been able to figure out what was going on. The total disorientation would have been bad news. But yeah, he rolled he rolled 18 on the dice.
Damn.
Yeah. So that went back in, and he manages to stop their onslaught to some degree. Now, of course, I do need to have Hugh and Hugh and Malcolm. I need you guys to make a like a body essence check, and it's going to be a target 8.
If I remember right, with penalties, we just remove a dice, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're down a die.
Yeah.
Only Malcolm does not have to worry about it again because he doesn't suffer pain penalties.
Right. Let's see. Fail 1, target 8, and then explode 10.
Mm-hmm.
I space mine out. Because it allows you to space it out. Yeah.
Nice.
Dang! Dang!
Yeah, we're good.
I'm gonna bump the, or I'm gonna use one of my lucks. Wait, am I lucky?
Are you just gonna boost your one?
Yeah, I'm gonna boost the 1. The
Good.
Only 1. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
have 2 successes.
Yeah, Malcolm, you're utterly unfettered by the explosion that occurs very close by to you. Hugh, you're not disoriented because you actually heard the clink and the sudden thing. You just kind of happened to turn your head. Your danger sense moving your head away from that, so you're not hearing terribly well, but you're not blind. But
Bop.
bop bop. Fucking Archer.
I have never found a GIF of that, and I looked so hard. I'm like, I don't know how to look this up. Like, Archer Def, it just brings up Hawkeye. I'm like, no.
You see, what you need to do is find the episode, make it yourself.
Right? I have to do it.
That's what D had to
Have to
do. He had to
watch.
make his own.
Yeah, I had to do a retro
Tired.
GIF search and find a good high quality version of it, and then slapped it into Jiffy.
There you go.
What did you type? Bill. What'd you type? I want to know. Give me the sauce.
Archer mop.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Add to favorite.
Mop. I had to
Mop.
scroll down for it. but
Mop.
yeah.
Fucking tinnitus. Alright. So that goes off, right? Now, Danny, you're at this point realizing that there is a subtle moment of possibility. Given the fact that there is a lot of disorientation, you are still making a slow backward track towards the turn in the alleyway, which is now to your right. Because if you were to go back and turn right, you'd go into that area, because you're facing the conflict and moving backwards. But, yeah, you're up at this point.
Well, Danny's been slowly building up electricity in his hands, seeing this huge group smoke a corpse. and seeing that Malcolm didn't immediately
Down his opponent.
but he hit in a flurry of blood and guilt. So I'm gonna kind of rely on the fact that they seem to have lots of metal on them.
Yeah.
And Danny is gonna go with his sparks that like sprays a shower of sparks from the end to try and like electrocute them.
Basically trying to
That's
send a
like
wave of electrical impulse out.
lightning.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, I want to like force lightning at them. So
Unlimited power.
I have that one favorited.
Yeah.
It's honestly my favorite one.
The unlimited power one.
No, the
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna spend 2 of the stones on my bracelet
Ooh.
to get 2 automatic,
Ah.
and then my evocation
Ugh.
is a 3. So I'm gonna be very glad that I spent 2 automatic successive.
Yes. What's your spell power right now? Like your actual.
My base power hit is a 9,
9?
and then my spell attack is 13.
Right, but the power's a 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That means that every success counts as that across, so 18 damage to whoever's hit with this.
Nice.
That is why magic is terrifying.
That's pretty righteous.
Yeah. Well, you're like, okay, let's give it a shot, and you burn 2 of your successes right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm just
You-
gonna like.
Yeah, you just go boom, you let it go out. The shocks leave those terrible lit scars on the backs of your eye, right? There is a
Yeah.
nasty thunderclapping sound as it reaches out. Now you've got to focus on your targets. They have just been disoriented on top of it. So,
Easy
Yeah.
to targets.
yeah, well in this case, it's going to kind of halfway auto-target because he's sending it forward. It's going to find the metallic material ahead of it. So he's going to let
That's kind of what I'm
electricity...
thinking.
Yeah, electricity is going to do what it does. Yeah. And it bounces all over everybody. But there's this flat, like massive loud popping sound. It actually causes the air to shift. And you even feel it, Malcolm. There's a bit of a buzz inside of your weapon. But because of the fact that the way that the circuitry and the rest of it works, it grounds past you on a car. You kind of got lucky on that one. But, yeah. But the guy that you were fighting ends up going like that. You can see him just get shook completely. There is the sound of like people screaming for half a second, and then an abrupt like stalling to that. The only thing that you happen to notice is that Alan is standing there. The arcs of electricity bounce off of something that seems to be invisible yet entirely solid, and it just goes like that, and he just cocks his head to the side, that same sort of like grin on his face. Oh, it's the field that was surrounding him before. It's kind of weird. It's not magic, it's something else.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But while
and
he's...
then Danny's gonna and then use that as an opportunity to
Yeah, move.
retreat back.
Yeah. Well, so what's funny is that nobody understands, like, especially for those people, because you guys have backed up several paces, right? Natalia and her bodyguard are out of view to your left because they'd hidden themselves as acting as sort of pseudo non-combatants.
Right.
After your electric shock, there is a cascade of gunfire that starts to come up with that. Natalia and her bodyguard both start laying rounds down on several of these disabled individuals and just
very nice.
pelting at this point.
So
But-
their suits are doing good.
Yes, their suits are doing good. They've got grounding nets in them. That's the only reason why it wouldn't have mattered. Like I said, electricity wasn't doing anything alien. It was just going to be very damaging. But they start laying down rounds on these dudes. And Malcolm, you'll take note. And same thing with you. Once you see the gunfire light up, these rounds are punching through whatever the hell they were wearing. because you can see the asphalt spitting behind the targets.
Wow.
It's in. You happen to notice that the case that was being carried was also carrying the weapons that they had in mind.
Nice.
So they're laying down these shots, and Hugh, you're up.
Is the guy in front of me?
He's disoriented and trying to get his bearings. I mean, he got flashbanged and electrocuted, so he's he's kind of in a state at the moment.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna vibrobat his face.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hugh, are you in danger of becoming a very ugly man?
Well, I didn't break out my sawed-off shotgun.
This is true, but, you know, kind of the same outcome in a way.
It's still technically non-lethal. It's like the same way
Technically.
non-lethal as Batman does.
Just as long as you don't activate the functionality there.
Actually, I always have the vibrobat
You did.
and the taser
You did.
out. Maybe I'll just taser him.
Like it.
He's already shocked, so might as well just like.
Oh,
Yeah.
hit him again? Jesus Christ.
Just smart first while you're at it.
Dude, you're gonna cook the crap in his
Cook it
guts,
again.
dude.
Yeah, it'll drop him though.
Taser.
Okay. That's a melee, right?
Mm-hmm. Taser face! Let's see what we got going on. It's metaphorical!
14.
I hope that
14?
people tune in to watch.
Yeah, he's too disoriented. Like, getting those debuffs like written out really makes a huge difference. Yeah, you're just like you stand there. He's like like that, and you're like like that, just like drill it into him casually, and he just goes like that and falls off to the side because you get into a sensitive area where there's joints because that means that there's less likely something to protect him. So where shoulder meets neck. You just
down.
Yep, you just hear the shock and he's on the ground. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. So, mind you, all of that
Go
BS,
less than lethal.
yeah, all of that BS just occurred in a 5-second standpoint. So, everybody's moving back into the alleyway at this point to sort of make sure that their numbers aren't so good and find some decent level of cover if something else decides to happen. You're pinned in, but thankfully everybody involved has a pass to get through a door that they can't enter. Which you're almost
dive in.
positive they don't
Bang
know
on the
that.
door.
Yeah.
Bert, let us in.
All right. So, yeah, you guys can make a break for it while everybody else is trying to get recovered. And while you're doing that, you hear Alan in the background going like, "Get up! Get after him!" like that, and just you can hear him stalking towards everyone.
And as
Yeah,
Malcolm
that was kind of my
go-
intent, was to
Mm-hmm.
put him down.
and as Malcolm kind of goes into the alleyway because he knows what everyone's doing, he just goes,
Very good. Not one of these, but one of these. I think one of my favorite things I see on that Stephen Colbert does is he'll do one of these. And he's like, whenever he's talking about Trump, like it's really funny.
Yeah. So you guys go in there, go pounding on the door. Let's see what we got going on here.
I did Bert, remember? I said, and he's gonna text Bert.
Yeah. Well, Bert will be able to do that. Yeah, if you've got the number for it.
"There you go, found one."
Nice.
All right, so you go pounding in on the door, and you guys are rushing towards the doorway. When you arrive at this point, the slider comes open, and you see the eye poking out, and it's like that. Shuts. The door comes swinging open, and you can see the massive hulking entity on the other side as the Minotaur kind of crouches in there. It's like, what's going on? Like he's trying to figure out what's happening there. And you can hear the shouting from the other end of the alley, and everybody's coming at a mad dash right up to the doorway here.
Malcolm kind of bellows out, "They're trying to disrupt business!"
Yeah, he was just pointing to the back, and he's holding up his pass that he pulled out of his coat pocket.
Yeah. So everybody starts slamming their pass. Let's see what's going on here. I want to...
Multipass!
Little Dallas multipass.
Oh, damn it, beat me.
Multipass.
Alright, so yeah, you guys managed to get in there, if only barely. You can see Alan walking around the corner. He catches sight of Bert at this point, and he's sort of like...
Unholy!
He gets really pissed off at this point because he didn't realize that there was actually like an entry down the way here. He's actually looking around like he's confused because apparently he wasn't aware that this was even here. Some of the others that had actually not been shot and mangled during that whole process, Natalia and her bodyguard having followed your group in as you started making your flee inward. You know, at this...
Yeah, it would be good business if we, like, left him in the alley.
Yeah. You all start moving on the inside, and Bert just kind of like stands aside, letting everybody go. He's just like, you know, last person in is the bodyguard. He's like, yep. And he's like, no entry, like that, and shuts the door.
And as Malcolm goes by, he says, "I am terribly sorry, Bert.
Why?
I don't like bringing trouble to your door."
That's fine. He just like walks to the side. You hear him go like he goes boom 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 like that on the side of the arch brace there. Hold on. Do, 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 do. Yeah, on the side of the arch brace there, and you know, you hear like the moving and sliding of stone and the rest of it. Whenever he's doing this, there's kind of this weird shift. Everybody can feel a vibration that's coming from like sort of underneath your feet. Let's see here. I want to find the right one.
Just rotate us to California or something.
No.
That's on HBO. I haven't watched that in so long.
But that's what I just thought of. The shink.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Had to find the frickin' album because I don't know all the albums
I
that
guess
well.
Bert's the door cow for a reason, right?
The door cow.
Like, it's not like we're inconveniencing him. His job is literally to stand at the door and limit entry.
Yeah, well, so he rotates this over and he feels reverberation. He slides it open, takes a look out, and says, well, like, no need to be sorry. You're not the one who was being a dick. Like that. He's like, you're in a different part of town, but the door is still open to you.
Yeah, as always, Bert, you have our good attitude.
Thanks, Bert.
He's like,
Oh.
thank you. He actually, on his smart brace, he kind of like fat fingers a couple of things, and you can see the cat, Phineas, which wasn't present when you guys came in, is already connected, because he had his Hologuchi added to that. But he's got it connected, and he's sort of like, he's watching it, sort of like, like that, pats that whole thing. Phineas has this massive cat house. Like, it looks like some sort of strange optical illusion stairway case, going backward, forward, and all over the place.
Amazing.
He's just like, Was there anything else you needed?
No, you just have
Or
yourself
can
an
I
absolutely
do-
magnificent day.
Can I do a quick spell to heal him?
Who? Malcolm?
You know?
Hugh? Oh,
I'm just asking her, like, is it okay if I do?
he actually puts his fists on his hips and he's like, as long as that's all you're doing, I'll give you this one time.
Is it okay if I practice healing magic on you?
Tiberius is like huffing and puffing. He's like looking around at the whole situation. He's like trying to get his head wrapped around whatever the hell just happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody else is casual, but he's the one who's kind of lagging behind.
And Malcolm's just like drinking.
Well, and Natalia probably like.
Well, she's been here before, but she's like We're just kind of like standing and watching everything, kind of keeping at a small distance. But you guys didn't betray her, and she got out. So
Yeah, Malcolm's eyes are completely black from the combat. But
Yep.
he takes out his flask, downs half of it, because half of it will,
yep.
and then his eyes go back to normal after he drinks from the flask.
I wasn't offering to heal him at all.
Right. So in this case, if Hugh grants it gives the okay, then you don't have any issues with trying to do so. You'll have standard threshold.
Hugh Grant.
Trying to figure out what it is in Hugh Grant for Band-Aid fix. Oh yeah, so you're not opposing me. What is the target?
Target in this case is going to be 7.
Oh, target says special, so that's what I'm asking. Oh, it says the target is the subject's tolerance.
Yeah. What is your? Well, in this case, it has to be a 7. Whoops. What the hell?
That's what happened.
Fuck it.
Oh
That is
no.
Danny trying to heal Hugh. Okay.
In a
This is
go
Danny
kart.
doing healing magic music.
My tolerance is 5, by the way. My tolerance base is 5.
Yeah. So it means that bare minimum, it's got to be a 6 or something like that, because.
Banjo intensified.
Mhm.
There you go. There we go for you, D.
Okay, so forget 6.
God damn it. I wasn't even. I don't even know what happened. It didn't even double click. I don't fucking.
It's so happy.
Okay, so Danny got a 9, a 4, and a 1. On
Sure.
his attempt to.
And if you want,
Band-Aid
you can
fix.
you can use any luck you might have to just boost the 1 up to a 2, and then it gives you 1 success.
What would happen if I failed to do that? Would it have like an effect?
You might rupture, like you might have
You would
actually cause
burst.
yourself damage.
Please don't
Would I,
rupture.
like accidentally knock his arm off?
No, it wouldn't hurt him. It'd hurt you.
Okay, well I am gonna spend 1 point of luck. To,
Oh, for if it's
to
you.
cancel that one.
Well, yeah, he's
Well,
the one
yeah.
that's channeling it. So if it ruptures,
mean,
it causes
yeah,
him
so
damage. Yeah.
No,
if
I
it was to
saying, like,
Hugh,
then it's just fine. Just
Then-
go for it. But
it's a good role-playing opportunity. If I hurt you, so yeah, I'm gonna say that Danny's like, okay, Brennan was trying to teach me this before his whole thing, and so he's gonna like start, and I'm gonna like reverse, like say that it starts as a fail, and then Danny like pulls it into a
Yeah.
success, right?
Well, and you find that there is
And,
this incredible sense of intelligence. Wow, the scary face plus the banjo music. I'm just, you know what? I can't even like offer up any kind of critical experience
Just-
like with this magic.
Wow.
You fucking pull it off, and it actually gives him, and it would be more than 1 extra HP than he needed because of the power. So he's back to normal.
He becomes even more
you
cute.
just go like one of these, and it's like, oh,
His right arm is now like twice the size of his.
my right arm is bigger than my left arm.
I'm just going with it.
It odd lines up with the GIF, the banjo. So yeah, so Danny is gonna, try and like the skin will like knit back together.
Well, no, I was just bludgeoned. I wasn't like.
Yeah, but you still can
Lacerated.
feel the inside of your body. Yeah, he was hit with a rod all across his shoulder, so it would still cause all kinds of weird sensations as things kind of reshape and set themselves together again.
It would be
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
And Danny's gonna be like, "Did that work?"
I mean, you're sitting there watching his face contort into strange things for a minute, but he doesn't seem pained anymore. And your shoulder's
Yeah,
in good working
He's
condition.
like, he's moving his arm around. I was like, thanks, Danny.
All right. See, Danny, I told you you can do magic.
And it's like at this point, everybody's kind of standing in this wad together and kind of going,
Right.
"Wow."
We're like clogging traffic in the street.
Luckily, there's
Thank
not a
you
lot of
for-
traffic coming in and out, but yeah.
And here's Malcolm going.
Hey.
"Mhm."
Thanks, Bert. I'm done. That was it. Thank you.
Goddamn fucking music. Well,
music with the
we're gonna
cat
have to,
is
like-
too-
Either way, it is the top of the hour here, and we're pulling it close anyway. So,
This is our music.
yeah, I was trying to set up the music, not initiate it.
That's so funny. Too bad Inky's not on. They get a kick out of that.
Well, there is the VOD, so
That's right. That's a good point.
I'm just random picking at this point.
Oh right. So Danny successfully healed.
Yes. I don't know why this
I'm
is
at the,
double
I just
speed.
hit my 20th session.
Yeah.
Nice.
I get a major milestone.
Ooh.
And this now that I have a current milestone, I can actually like do
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah. You can get a
Oh,
21.
last was my 19th. I am at 22. Yay.
Hooray! We got some advancement stuff going on.
I can pull a
That's-
major.
You guys, it's gonna work because you're gonna go get your cool new armor, and you'll like. Jeez. Wait, Koji Kondo did this? I had no idea that was Koji Kondo.
Ooh, I like Unbreakable.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
2 automatic successes when making an opposing will check.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a lot of looking around because he's a jack of all trades. So, you know, maybe quick study or. Oh dang, quick study actually would be good. Although I don't think I have intuition advantage. What's the intuition advantage? I forget.
It's all in the OneNote, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I thought so. Advantages.
And we're scrolling. And we're scrolling.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad that it worked out to.
Oh,
to be here.
intuition is gaining +3 in tactics checks. Okay. So let's see. If I got quick study, you're fast at gauging a situation and knowing what's needed to move forward. Whenever you need to make a combat sense check, you may take 6 instead of rolling the die. What's may take 6?
In other words, you may just
Like,
assume that you have
act-
6 as your result.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Right, which means that you basically hit just above average every time if you want to go that route. You can roll the dice and see if you get better, but you can also go, I take 6, and just go with it.
Yeah, I'll have to look through these later. Can't see me. Oh, I need 3 major milestones. Goddamn.
Because it's a beefcake of a major milestone.
Well, yeah, it's the longest one. I like hardcore parkour.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking
I don't
at
have
the
cat-like balance or time sense advantage, so.
4 major milestones need to be selected for death rights. You're not very
Yeah.
easily slain.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun to have the milestones. The more that they come up, the more that they come into use, the better I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's an actual ding moment. It's not just like, hey, you're kind of getting better. You're getting better with IP. It's like, you know, you finished something, you did something, and now we're here, and you get like an actual tangible boost in power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel
don't
like
know.
Unfazed would work for Hugh. Horrors of the Supernatural don't hit like they used to. When facing darkness, you can hold firm, keeping your mind in perfect functionality. Per encounter, you automatically succeed the first required sanity check that comes up.
Right, yeah, you just basically, oh, I passed that.
I mean, the way
Yeah.
you like takes advantage of situations, that seems like is like you can imagine some like horrific like
Right.
and it's like uh-huh.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun to have that happen, yeah.
Well, this might be an interesting one given how combat focused Malcolm is.
Yeah.
Dead Warrior. Bloodline powers that focus on combat gain +5 in damage.
Ugh.
So my warrior instinct, the moment I activate it,
Plus 5 in damage. You're already a kill blender. Like I.
Of course, you'd lean into it.
Oh, certainly, yeah. You
Oh,
go
we're
with
leaning into it.
you go with your strengths. If that means you're whirling dervish of the bloody marches, then so be it.
Well,
Alright.
I am out of here.
Yeah.
I gotta get my car into service tomorrow morning, so gotta drive early.
Yep. And I also have to do the same. So, gentlemen, it was fun, and to viewers as well, it was good to see you, and I'm going to keep on coming back. So, we'll see you around.
Bye.